I used to always feel that something is missing in my life. This is not what I really, really want to do. And I used to keep thinking, I know there is something more that I'm going to do in life, but I had no idea what it's going to be. I went through a financially very, very low time. In fact, I lost my entire life's savings.
So interesting that such a transformation from training the corporates and now you're totally into life coaching and numerology.
Had
The
to be much more
satisfaction was
deeper. Yes, much more fulfilling.
that was immense, which was actually giving you.
And that's where numerology comes into the picture. This particular case that came to me, in fact, that case is the case that put a seed into my mind that let me just integrate numerology and life coaching. How can people deal with it, both at a numerology level, and how can life coaching strategies also help people in navigating through these strategies?
Hi Pooja, how are you?
Hi Pratibha, nice to meet you. I'm doing good. Thanks
Such
for
a
asking.
pleasure to have a conversation with you and to know so much about you and your new journey, what you're having. So, well, now coming to, I am more intrigued to, actually know because I have known you as a lecturer and then as a trainer, then as a, being an assessor for the language training and then being with corporates as training manager with companies like Deloitte, HSBC.
I've been with Dell as well and
Dell,
Convergys as well.
Convergence.
Yeah.
And now it's so interesting that such a transformation from being the training, the corporates, and now you're totally into life coaching and numerology. So, what is this shift all about? Why such a transformational shift?
Well, I come with 20 years of work experience, Pratibha. I've enjoyed all the roles that I've done in the past 20 years. However, I used to always feel that something is missing in my life. This is not what I really, really want to do. Well, I've enjoyed being a lecturer, a
I know.
teacher, a trainer, a training manager, a language assessor. However, it wasn't fulfilling.
Is it?
Yes, it wasn't. And I used to keep thinking, I know there is something more that I'm going to do in life, but I had no idea what it's going to be. Life coaching came into my life because I was suggested by a lot of colleagues that you naturally have a flair.
Yeah, that I've
Where,
seen.
yes, of giving advice to people. People automatically come to you when they're facing issues, and your advice works for them. So why not do something professionally, which kind of again cements whatever you're doing? So when you have a professional certification, you will be in a better position to help more number of people. And that's when I went in for my ICF accreditation during COVID period. So yes, after that, I continued helping people with guidance. But what changed was now I had an arsenal of strategies that I could share with people, which helped them much more than what I used to do earlier.
So you mean to say while you were pursuing it as a passion, your, coaching, I know you would go out of the way, sitting with them and understanding what actually put them into that situation and try to guide them across. So that now you, after your, so you are taking one-on-one sessions for people as a life coach. So you have a curated program for it.
I don't do only life coaching, Pratibha. I call myself a numero life coach.
Amazing.
So, from being a life coach who used to only do life coaching, I've now transitioned to being a numero life coach, which means I integrate the guidance of numerology with the practical wisdom and strategies of life coaching.
That was very intriguing to me when you actually told me you are doing life coaching along with numerology because I have met so many of them. Either they are into numerology or they are into life coaching. But a combination of two, what is this different from that others?
So, numerology started interesting me when I went through something very, very personal in my life. I went through a financially very, very low time. In fact, I lost my entire life's savings.
Is it?
Yes. And a practical person like me who would always give advice to others about being very careful about money and trusting people with your money, especially. When this happened in my life,
Hmm.
my entire life savings gone, it hit me.
I'm sure.
Yes, it hit me really bad, and I started wondering as to why is this happening to me, and why was I not able to use those practical strategies
Yeah,
and
yeah, no.
be as practical as I usually am when I was going through this in my own
And you were
personal
very
life.
loud about it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So I wouldn't say that I planned to study numerology. So when this financial fraud happened in my life, I started really thinking. And then when I would just aimlessly watch videos on YouTube, what started coming mostly on screen was videos related to numerology.
So would you like to give me a little insight on when you
Hmm.
said financial fraud
Hmm.
happened? Was it ignorant, or was it like somebody made you believe? Like usually
Hmm.
what happens is people,
Hmm.
like we see
Hmm.
cybercrime and stuff like that.
Yes.
So people get
Hmm.
trapped into it. So is it like some you believe in somebody and then it happened, or is
Hmm.
it like happened because you invested in a business, or
Hmm.
is it something like how if?
So I will not blame the other person
Mhm.
here, Pratibha. It is me who chose to support a particular person I truly trusted. When I realized that I've lost out on that money, um, had it not been for my extremely supportive family
Yeah, they're
and my
always.
non judgmental friends and my meditative practices,
And your
I
attitude?
I would like to still believe that had it not been because of these people in my life and my meditative practices, I might have gone into depression
True.
because this is the only thing I had. There is no other backup.
And that
This
too after
corpus
so
was the
many
only
years.
thing. Yes,
You were
this,
so
yeah,
very meticulous in savings, and
absolutely.
always
Yes,
you
and years of
emphasized.
saving, right? And
You always
otherwise, I'm
emphasized.
someone who's a shopaholic.
Correct.
And I started saving very late in life, right? So, initial maybe 15 years of my career life, I didn't save anything. I was just splurging money. And it's only in those 5 to 7 years that I saved up that amount. So that was my corpus for my future.
So what stuck you at that point in time?
Hmm.
Like you realize that now this is now where to go, how
Hmm.
to happen? Because many people, like when I also met a lot of people who have
Hmm.
lost, generally क्या होता है, they lose total confidence.
Hmm.
अब कुछ करने की उनमें हिम्मत ही नहीं
Hmm.
होती है. Then either they are like, they get into such a negative zone.
Hmm.
Every person they start looking at with doubt, and then you are always on a pointer. You do any step, the family is like, so they get into depression.
Hmm.
So
And
what?
that might have happened with me as well,
True.
right? But um, that's when I started thinking that there's definitely something deeper. There is much more to this story. Yes, I didn't get into a depression. I didn't lose my confidence. I started thinking that I need to do something else. So, what has happened with me
Mm.
should not happen with others. Now, I had a chance of going back to the corporates and
Absolutely.
doing what I've
And that
been
was so
doing.
comfortable. And that
Absolutely.
too, come working with
Hmm.
companies so big. So such a, again
Hmm.
starting a
Yes.
new is
Yes.
something very challenging
However,
actually.
when this happened with me, that's when I realized that I have to start helping people
Mm.
and not going back and doing something that I had been doing, which was a comfort zone for me. You end up getting your salary, yes,
But then
but then
learning,
I wasn't really contributing to people's life. Indirectly, yes, when we do training sessions, we're contributing in our own ways. But for me,
this
that contribution had
the
to be much more
satisfaction
deeper,
was
yes, much more fulfilling.
that was
Yes.
immense, which was actually giving
Yes,
you.
and that's where numerology comes into the picture. Once I started studying numerology, understanding first my own birth details and then mapping it with the various incidents that have happened in my life.
So that gave you conviction
Yes,
to really
absolutely.
believe that
Yes.
this happened because of not,
Hmm.
usually even it is called as destiny also, no?
Hmm.
How do
Hmm.
you connect that? It is
See,
destined to
when you look
happen.
at my numerology chart, it's clearly mentioned there that
Oh,
yes,
that's what you're
I
trying to.
have certain number combinations which point towards the possibility of financial fraud. So
Okay.
if I had access to the information that I have now,
Uh-huh.
I maybe would have been much more careful and prudent.
Precautionary.
Yes, absolutely,
Ah.
in taking those decisions.
So you mean to say that can be taken? Like
Absolutely.
when you be like,
Hmm.
before doing any such investments or before
Hmm.
even any such things,
Hmm.
if you take this understanding about your numerology chart, you
Hmm.
can be proactive or prudent enough.
Absolutely. So if I know these are some potential roadblocks I might face, or these are certain challenges I may
They
face in
can.
life,
Mm.
yes, I am better prepared to deal with these challenges. Not that challenges will completely go away. Many people think that just through numerology you will not have any issues in
Something
life, which
magic
is
will
wrong.
happen.
Yes,
Mm.
no. You will still go through what you're supposed to go through or what you're meant to go through, the lessons that you're meant to learn. However, when I know that these are certain things that might happen, I could be more prudent, and the damage may not be as much as it would be without the knowledge that
This
I
is
have
highly
now.
appreciating. How much time it took to learn the entire thing and then actually put it into practice?
Almost a year for me to understand, because it's not very easy, at least for me, because I am not someone who's very good at math. Although I have a very analytical brain, but numbers and I don't see eye to eye.
But still you went
Yes,
ahead
yes,
and
because then there was a purpose,
so was that the
Pratibha.
purpose is bigger.
Absolutely, it was much more than who I am. So that purpose is what,
That was the
yes,
driving force.
absolutely. So I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to help people to understand the challenges they may face in life because of certain numbers in their numeroscope. Now, I'm not saying that these challenges will happen 100%, but even if there are 60 to 70% chances of these challenges happening, how can people deal with it, both at a numerology level, and how can life coaching strategies also help people in navigating through these challenges?
But this is highly appreciable, Pooja, because many people, yes, they do face and then they find solution. They do go to counselors, they do go to consultants, as you suggested, and then they solve that and again get back to their own work, whatever they were doing. But here you have, made sure that you learn, you understand in depth, and then now giving back in terms of solving people such problems. Because as you rightly suggested, many people get into situations where there is no comeback. When there's no comeback, and that can happen even at an early age of 30s also. I've seen people getting into such. Recently somebody was telling me, a girl, a 19 lakhs something, she was telling me she lost a very young girl, and then there's no comeback for such
Must be
situations.
extremely traumatic for
Yeah.
her.
So but now you have taken up this plunge to solve. So what is that you're looking at?
Well, I'm looking forward to working with a lot more people, helping them understand their numerology chart, um, letting them know what are the potential challenges they can face in life, and through life coaching, give them strategies that can help them navigate through these challenges. And as I mentioned earlier, numerology or astrology cannot take away all the challenges because we're meant to learn lessons.
Yeah, yeah. But that's very brave of you. That's very brave of you because you've really taken that very firm footing in terms of having a solution driven, even the purpose is having a very solution driven direction to it, which will actually, what you call, they know, okay, they can, like how we are seeing you here talking and coming out of it and talking and now sharing your journey. That itself is quite impressive. And let's say somebody who couldn't have this solution, or they have gone back to it and stuff like that, and here you give credit to anybody in your family specifically when you were in that situation who could have
Oh,
actually.
my parents, my sister-in-law, and my brother. A lot of my close friends, my closest friends who've been non-judgmental, definitely, and my meditative practices. Without these, as I mentioned earlier, high possibilities, either I would have lost my confidence or my will to do something good in life, or even maybe would have gone into depression.
Yeah, depression is a very common, I feel. They would have had no other choice getting into. They may be becoming very mechanical in working, but then back of their mind, they are totally lost into the thing. But yes, I know the family, and many don't have, many are deprived of that. That is something which is you're blessed with, I should say.
Absolutely blessed. Absolutely blessed. Numerology was nowhere in the picture then. I did my life coaching, was helping out people gain clarity in various aspects of their life. And when this financial thing happened in my life, that is when numerology came into my life.
Okay, so you felt that there is a gap in when you were doing the life coaching, and then there's a gap still to get more accuracy?
I wouldn't say so. What happened was life coaching was going on, and this financial thing happened, and I started thinking that there
More
is much
deeper.
more. Yes, there is much more. I wanted to go deep, and numerology happened. Then I understood my charts, and that's when I realized. Now, I was working with people, a lot of couples as well. So, although I was giving them life coaching strategies, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And that's when it hit me, why not now even try numerology, because I was a certified numerologist. When I started reading their charts, I also saw that there is an energetic imbalance. That's when I started mapping life coaching as well as the of numerology.
Yeah, otherwise it's always a mismatch. You're treating something, but
Hmm.
then the other thing is not getting
Yes.
rectified. And then it's like you are confused, probably.
Right. And also, what I've seen in my life is people either go to numerologists or astrologers, or they go to therapists or life coaches. But when I started working with couples and I wasn't able to help them and resolve much of their issues, although they were using all the strategies of life coaching that I had shared with them, and I started reading their numerology charts, that's where it started making a lot of sense. That sometimes just numerology or astrology is not enough, because end of day, two people have to make a relationship work out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you may have all the strategies you're using, sometimes if there is an energetic imbalance, even these strategies won't help.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely there's a big, huge missing gap there.
That's what I've
Mm.
experienced, Pratibha.
Mm.
And I started seeing better results once I started integrating numerology and life coaching. Now, having said that, do I always integrate life coaching with numerology? That's not the case, because I have clients who would approach me just for give my baby a name, right? So there is no question of doing life coaching session there. Or someone comes to me for a business name, so just give me a business name for my business. So that's when I'm using only numerology. But when we talk about career and some person is getting stuck at his or her career, that's when I use both life coaching and numerology. Or when we have couples approaching me, that's when I use again numerology and life coaching. So it's very client concern specific.
So clients for the couples for the compatibility in
Yes,
terms of the career and the life and the relationship, and
yes.
that's actually seen many of them. Any challenges they face in life, they
Hmm.
go to the life coaches.
Hmm.
But otherwise, as you suggested, they're starting a new business, they're starting something, a new career, whether this is the
Hmm.
child name. These are the only places where numerology, the correction, or they are looking at that chart. But this is a very rare combination where I'm seeing you're practicing both.
Yes.
So this thought came to you for better accuracy, you mean?
But again, like I mentioned, necessarily that when we talk about a business name, or someone had recently
Yeah.
approached me for a movie name. So
Oh, for the movie name.
yes, yes, that movie will be. So there is no need of life coaching because the client has approached me just for a movie name. But if he were to approach me for any relationship specific concern or a career specific concern, that's when I would integrate both numerology and life coaching.
Okay, it makes sense. That means if you have this challenge on a relationship, it's
Mm.
always good to make sure that your numerology alignment is also
Yes,
addressed. Otherwise, it's like you're giving a half
yes,
solution to
yeah.
the person.
So numerology alone may not be able to help a couple.
So this is something has really thrown some light on, how people really. I know that they say I've gone to this, but then
Mm.
yeah, nothing worked out. I spent a year of my time taking up sessions, and then some people are like too much into going into the number chart and then still
Mm.
find it. So now I know
Yes.
where are the small gaps can actually make a lot of difference.
Also, Pratibha, at this point in time, I would want to talk about this particular case that came to me. In fact, that case is the case that put a seed into my mind that let me just integrate numerology and life coaching. So, a friend whose daughter was getting married approached me saying that the astrologer they had consulted had told them that this is a very bad match from an astrology perspective. I spoke to the girl and she told me very clearly that she is going to marry this boy. Now, the boy's parents also got the astrology chart matched, and their astrologer also said the same. So, when the girl and the mother approached me, I did a numerology reading. And just like what the astrologer had mentioned, even through the numerology reading, I knew that this is not a good match numerologically.
Okay.
But the girl was very clear. I've been dating this guy for the past 4 years. We both are very committed. Now, I told her certain issues that I saw from the numerology chart of both the girl and the boy. And I asked her if these were the issues they had been facing for the past 2-3 years. And she said, bang on, this is exactly what we're facing. So I gave them some remedies, like there was a mismatch in the name. So I brought it to a more compatible name for both of them. There was also mismatch in their mobile numbers. So again, we did a compatibility there. Then I asked her a question as to how do you manage conflicts? Now, you have already told me that these are the areas where you have a conflict.
Interesting.
What is your conflict management style? How do you address these challenges? And
she was clueless?
Absolutely. Then I sat with her and came up with certain strategies. I wanted the boy also to be a part of that discussion, but because of some reasons, he could not make it to that discussion. So once I gave her those strategies and I told her to use the numerology remedies that I had given them, she came back to me after 3 months and said that we have decided to get married. And the strategies that you've given me, I've been using them. I definitely see a huge improvement in the quality of our relationship. So that was absolute validation for me that this works much better than just giving a numerology reading or just doing life coaching.
Absolutely, I understand now how actually it helps and practically how is actually implemented. Got it. Yeah, otherwise many people are like after doing so much of I see, or especially in our Hindu culture, first thing is they go with our 36 gun kitne match ho rahe hain, and that's the number where they that time life coaching is totally not at all taken into consideration. But now I understand where it all.
And I also feel, Pratibha, that while yes, I respect the fact that some families are very particular about numerology chart match or astrology chart match, good if you believe in that. I also believe that a premarital coaching can also support there. So while yes, my numbers are matching well, if there is some kind of premarital coaching that is also done, it definitely will help the couple.
But I guess that is picking up a bit, Pooja, now.
Slowly, yes, but yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But in whatever I have seen, I have done more of post-marital coaching than premarital coaching.
That is because they are already in the crux
Yeah.
now. They want to
Even for a lot of young couples, they approach me after spending 2 or 3 years in their marriage. So yeah, I think if premarital coaching is something that is also done along with
like how
astrology
you
or numerology,
the
it
solution has really helped her to
Yes,
pose that,
absolutely.
they're going more aware and more prepared. They're going more prepared.
Yeah. And now it's a happier relationship. They're enjoying their married life. And even when they have differences, now they know how can they
Handle
deal
it.
with those differences.
And they feel that, and most importantly, they feel that this is not a challenge in terms of they don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Now they know this is the personality
Yes.
outcome, so they don't take it personally.
Yes.
Otherwise, you immediately jump to a conclusion that this is a personal trait.
And then sometimes, because in the numerology reading, I tell them that this particular trait is because of this particular number. So this particular number could be adding on to this trait. So when the partner has an understanding of where that particular trait is coming from, then you're also in a better position to deal with something maybe you're not too fond of.
Then you have a course correction for it?
Remedies. And then because I tell them that this comes from this, there's a high possibility it's coming because of this number, then the person knows how to deal with it. And wherever they're confused, I am there to help them out.
Yeah. So how does one reach out to you?
Well, I have my website, changesthroughnumerology.com. It's a very different spelling. And I've come up with this spelling from a numerology perspective. They can also contact me on my WhatsApp. I have a business number, so they can reach out. I'm also on Instagram. Changes Through Numerology again is my Instagram ID. I'm also on LinkedIn. So Sagar Pooja V. You can connect with me on LinkedIn too.
So now, since we know where to reach you, I'm sure that will be a great help to a lot of people who actually keep on facing challenges, but instead of letting the years go by, as you
Yes.
suggested, the whole life was just gone. They have a solution here. Good. Nice to know. Thank you so much for being and giving us, sharing some thoughts and your experiences.
Thank you so much, Pratibha, for having me here today.
Thanks.